Today in the crypto space, we see the market still boring, Bitcoin at 29,000 and Ethereum still around that $1,800 mark. The rest of the crypto space, the altcoins are pretty much waiting for Bitcoin and Ethereum to make some critical decisions. Currently, we have no price action to look at. However, guys, there are good indications that we should be accumulating in this sideways price action. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one altcoin that has been looking really bullish. However, guys, should we be buying in currently? And that project is called THORChain RUNE. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of that volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects that you're interested in, let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials, the description, the links are in the description, and of course, feel free to join that Discord. The Discord right now is a very, very hot place to get a lot of good alpha, good trade setups, great community, and all that good stuff. So go check it out. All right, guys, let's get into it. We see Bitcoin currently going sideways, Ethereum also doing the same thing. Nothing really interesting. They look like a stable coin, and this is the time where a lot of the market participants get really bored, right? They get bored out of the market, either bored out of the market or they get wrecked to the point that they don't want to participate anymore. And this is the scenario here, guys. We see a lot of these altcoins going sideways. We have a bit of volatility in some of the newer projects that are coming out. Low caps, mid caps, micro caps are definitely doing pretty good if you're into that sort of thing. However, guys, volatility right now is not really happening. There's not much volatility here, and you can see that based on the top, let's even the top 20. Look at them pretty sideways. THORChain looking okay, 17%, and Sheep doing okay, not bad, 14% in the last 7 days. But reality is that the range highs and the range lows are very tight currently in a lot of these projects, so we're not getting much volatility here. Monero looking pretty good, I guess, previous high type of thing. OKB pulling back ever so slightly. Hedera hash graph getting that strength, 15% to the upside in 24 hours. Guys, we covered H-bar early on. We got into a potential long position. We saw the RSI fully reset to oversold conditions. It was time to potentially de-risk, and now we're at basically up 15% in 24 hours, guys. H-bar doing pretty good overall. We covered H-bar right around here. When was the last time we talked about H-bar? About 11 days ago, I did talk about H-bar and the fact that H-bar was looking good for a buy opportunity, right? So it's all about, mitigating your risk and all about risk management. At the end of the day, when you see a project looking like it's ready to pop off, it's potentially a good time to enter the market with a small position size and dollar cost average and build a position to the upside. And H-bar right now is doing very well. So good stuff for H-bar. Filecoin, nice sideways price action. Aptos sideways price action. VeChain getting a pop to the upside, continuing its momentum. Remember how I was telling you about VeChain showing some strength? About 3 days ago on the live stream, we talked about VET. We talked about the potential continuation to the upside. It started showing some good signs of, life, that it was going to wake up a little bit. And now, of course, it's not significant, but nonetheless, we are beginning the trend to the upside. Now, if we do get a nice pullback, we get a little bit of a support scenario where we get a higher low, it is very possible that VeChain could follow a very similar price action scenario that H-bar is in. Pullbacks are usually bought up, especially when you get proof of life like VeChain is showing us right now. It's only up 3%, but a pullback could definitely cause a spring to happen where we see a nice little rally up of 10 to 15%. You never know. So let's keep an eye on VeChain, of course. Any pullbacks are meant to be bought up, and we'll definitely keep you updated there to see if we should be buying a bag of VET. Let's continue going sideways. A lot of sideways price action, as can be seen. ApeCoin getting to those higher levels. Am I interested right now? Not really. Am I even interested in ApeCoin? Personally, I've never got into it. I don't hold any. I'm not really interested. It's not that I have anything negative to say about it. You know, just some projects are not for me. And I'm sure you feel the same way about some other projects that are in the market right now. Like some of them just don't really click, and that's totally fine. But right now, ApeCoin is looking pretty strong. You know, higher highs, higher lows. What else could you expect? You know, 12% in 7 days. It's about, you know, trailing up a stop loss right now and protecting the gains if you are profitable. ApeCoin doing pretty good in the last little while for sure. Theta Network maybe breaking out of range. This is the thing. This is where the magic happens. You have a very, very clear range here, sideways channel. If we break the range highs, guys, very likely that Theta breaks up to the upside. If we break range lows, you got to expect that Theta might come down. Theta has been, you know, not really that interesting, to be honest, performance-wise. Performance-wise, very stagnant. Not really doing much, not much volume, and for me, that's a very clear indicator that maybe Theta could be boiling up for a nice pressure, for enough pressure to make a nice break. But right now, I'm not really interested, to be honest. I like Theta. I always did like Theta, especially in the previous bull run. One of my main gainers was Theta, but right now, not really that crazy about it. Render back to $1.70. Getting a nice pump to the upside, up 2.5%. You know, Render's in one of those scenarios that I think that a lot of people believe a further continuation to the downside is very possible. I am definitely one of those individuals. I'm going to be very, very patient. I feel like Render is consolidating right now within a mid-move type of thing. We got an impulse move to the downside, ranging right now, you know, maybe bear flag type of thing, and another impulse move maybe is due, bringing Render to about, I would say, as low as maybe $1.20, give or take. Obviously, I'm going to wait for momentum to fully reset on the daily and get some indicators that maybe the bears are exhausted. Right now, there's no clear indication that that's the case. So I am going to be very patient on Render, regardless of the peaks and valleys that we create as the momentum is coming down. I'm going to be patient. I'm not going to FOMO because I did sell a significant part of my bag of Render on the top, on the rejection, and now I'm waiting to reaccumulate some of that right at the lower levels. Okay, so let's continue going down. We have some good gainers here. Pepe, of course, doing pretty good in the last little while. Rollbit getting a rounded top type of thing. I feel like this could be a distribution, maybe a bounce to test liquidity at higher levels. You basically a liquidity grab, sweep the highs, and then come right back down. It's very possible that we see that. So be careful getting into shorts. As you do see, it is rolling over. It does look like it wants to come down, but you know, the likelihood is that we get a little bit of a fake out and come right back up, sweep the highs, and then continue down. So be careful. If you're not in a short right now, it could happen that happens, and you might get your second opportunity to get into that short position. So be careful. Frax share looking pretty strong. In fact, higher highs. Look at that. Higher lows, higher highs, up 5% in the last little while. Pretty good. Not bad. So we're getting some sideways, but in addition, we are getting a few gainers. Like, it's not as significant, but we are getting a few gainers. Today's video is all about RUNE. I want to talk about THORChain. I do talk about THORChain once in a blue moon, but I do know that one thing is for sure, that when THORChain moves, it moves. It really does get a lot of volume, right? So you can see that right now it's up 46% in the last 7 days, and it's still looking okay. But I feel like right now is an opportunity to potentially expect a pullback. So overall, guys, we're going to be taking a look at THORChain, RUNE very, very soon. I want to look at Bitcoin as an indicator to see where we could potentially see the big picture go for this market. Because if Bitcoin does dip, we are going to expect that all these altcoins may take a bit of a hit in the short term, where we can accumulate at lower levels. And it's about time that we see Bitcoin make a move. We need Bitcoin to make a decision, show us the direction. And my personal opinion is I feel like my biased opinion to the downside might play out. So let's go see what is going on with Bitcoin. I know you're here to talk about charts. Let's begin our analysis here with Bitcoin. Currently, we see Bitcoin basically still going sideways. We were within a range. We did break down from that range, and now we're range bound once again here, hanging out at about 28,800 and peaking at about 29,500, give or take. Now we can see that this zone was once a weak zone. This zone was once an empty volume gap area, and as we consolidate in this zone, you can see that the VPVR is slowly filling up, and we're getting a bit of support here. But nonetheless, it is still an indentation with regards to the amount of volume that we have in this spot. So we're going to keep an eye on it. I still feel that with Bitcoin, at the end of the day, coming down to lower levels could be actually really bullish. A lot of people don't believe in that. A lot of people, when they see Bitcoin come down, they look at it, okay, Bitcoin is over. It's not the case. When I see Bitcoin come down, of course, the obvious is you can buy on the cheap. But in addition to that, you have to think about what's happening with the psychology. Bitcoin comes down, the people that are bullish, what do you think they're doing? They're buying more, of course, but at the end of the day, we're getting more market participants involved. And as market participants become involved, you get more volume. And as you get more volume, you get more strength. And each impulse to the upside gets stronger and stronger. So for me, coming down to pick up some bulls is not a bad idea. It's coming down, resetting momentum, getting the momentum, you know, getting the bears exhausted and allowing the bulls to get the ball in their court once again with more bullish momentum, for me, is not a bad thing. In fact, peaks and valleys are actually great. The market, it needs those peaks and valleys so that each impulse to the upside becomes stronger and stronger. If we go sideways here for longer, you're going to see that the market is going to be stagnant, very quiet, no one's interested, and in fact, we don't get the volatility that all of us traders kind of want, right? That's what we kind of want, up and down, not just sideways. Sideways difficult. You don't really have any action to work with. So what we really want to see is Bitcoin make a decision. I personally have this biased opinion that we should be coming down at minimum to about $27,125, give or take, and expect a bit of a reaction. Once we come down here, get a reaction, we could be getting bounces, but getting down to this level means that the daily might fully reset. We might see the oversold condition here on the RSI, and it might be our opportunity to get into a long position either on Bitcoin or some altcoins. Like really, personally, I've been focusing on alts quite a bit lately, looking at good opportunities, scaling up, you know, buying dips and all of that, packing bags for the bull run, slow and steady, doing a lot of research, guys, during my days, trying to figure out what projects are about, what the fundamentals are, and of course, those deep dives, guys. If you appreciate the deep dives that I do here on the channel, there's every Sunday, I'm going to be releasing a deep dive. The last one that I released was on Microvision Chain. Go check that one out. If you are interested in this project, I believe that this video could definitely help you out make some critical decisions on whether you want to get in or what position size you want to, you know, expose yourself to in this market. Obviously, I do release a lot of them, Octaspace and so on. Go check them out because there's a ton of information here on the channel. All right, let's continue here, guys. Bitcoin. Let's jump right into the THORChain RUNE chart. So THORChain right now is looking great. It's a really, really good gainer in the last 24 hours. What I want to do is remove all the TA, previous TA, and zoom out a second. Because big picture, we can actually really see what is happening here with THORChain RUNE. Right now, it is at the bottom of the range. And I rarely do this, but when I do this, it kind of brings us back to the reality of what has been happening in comparison to you know, the most bullish moments of the price action right up here. Look at these peaks and valleys, and finally a breakdown from these lows. Guys, we've broken down already significantly. The retracement is significant. A lot of these altcoins are down 90% plus, and THORChain RUNE is not the exception. It has retraced significantly. Now, the question is did we hit our bottom? And when you talk about statistically speaking, the likelihood is that we are way closer to potential bottom than we are in the tops. That's my opinion, right? That's all it is. It's just an opinion, not financial advice. We could definitely come down lower, but my opinion is right now, I feel like we've put in the majority of the move to the downside. And you can see based on the price action here on the daily is that we are kind of now looking for that range of support. Although in the last 24 hours, we've been having some great volume. You can see that here based on the green volume bars. And look at the RSI on the daily. Huge momentum to the upside. Now in overbought conditions, okay, on the daily. And you can also see that the MACD right now, EMAs are facing up with green histogram bars. So you can see that right now we are in a very bullish stance. And my opinion is right now it's time to prepare for a shift into a bearish stance, given that now the bulls that are in profits up 50% on their bags are going to potentially want to, you know, protect those gains by taking profit, by trailing up stop losses, maybe a bit of market manipulation at the top, you know, type of thing. So you got to be careful here, right? So big picture, we've retraced. You're still early to scale in. You didn't miss out on anything. You missed out on a short-term rally up, which is, in the grand scheme of things, nothing in comparison to what THORChain RUNE could do if it gets back to its previous highs, or even at best, at these range highs, maybe at about $10, let's say, from where we are right now, $1.40 to $10, you're looking at some good moves to the upside with a position, building a position here at the bottom of the range. Okay, so let's see what happens here. We are at a point of control, of course, and the point of control is not very clear because we do have a huge cluster of supply and demand that is pretty equal to one another. Yes, we got a bit of a spike here, but generally speaking, this zone is a very strong zone, and we are in the thick of it. We're pretty much in the middle of this zone, and the question is, can we break out? Can we actually break out, hold support here, and break to the upside? Now, previously, I did put in some horizontals, and I feel like a little bit of this needs to be cleaned up and, you know, at the end of the day, synthesized, because there's a lot happening here now, and a lot of the volume did fill up. Now these are no longer weak spots. There's no longer the same TA that required us to kind of break out, break down type of thing is no longer here. Now we can see that we do still have a volume gap down here, which I do want to identify before we move on, because it is a point of weakness. If we do break down, guys, this is where we got to watch out for. And we did get support on the top of the volume gap, which for me is a very interesting place. Very interesting place to see some support. Now, again, if we do come down to that level, that is a good support zone once again for a double bottom. Sorry, guys. Let's see. Let's put a green arrow in right now. This zone right here was epic. Okay, good place to get in. And if it happens, the worst case scenario, we break below the volume gap because there's no supply and demand here. You can see based on the price action looking left, straight up, straight down type of action, no chop action in between. Basically, there's a weak zone here. So now we did get some volume. We did get a nice little impulse. We did break some good levels here in the short term. But the reality is, guys, there's nothing really happening here. Okay, nothing really happening because the trend is still your friend. Lower lows and lower highs. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit and clean up this up and make sense of this. This right here was a channel that we identified that we broke down from, which was ideal. Bearishness basically came in and brought the price down. What else do we have here? We have the point of control here, still lower lows, lower highs. We didn't break this previous high, so no clear break of structure just yet. On the daily, we have a bit of a weak spot right here as well. If we can happen to get to that level, and we slowly, the volume slowly diminishes around this zone, but it's still there and it's still significant. So we got to be aware that this could be a slow grind to the upside. You know, a bit of, you know, peaks and valleys, you know, ebb and flows to kind of, you know, attend to before we actually get to this area right here. Okay, this is where we could get a bearish reaction for sure at the top of the volume gap and at the bottom of the volume gap. I would be prepared to protect any gains at this level, whether it be just trailing up a stop loss or even taking a bit of profits off the top just in case, because if it does happen, you want to make sure that you have your gains already, you know, taken off the table type of thing. So you can see this zone could get a reaction, very much so. Let's get rid of that for a second and let's zoom out a bit. Now, I want to see what's happening here on the 4-day because we're going to consolidate a bit of the price action and see what's happening here. We got into oversold and got a bounce real quick, and the price action didn't even justify it. The overall momentum went so high, but look at the price action barely moved, right? So this is a significant thing for me. I feel like we should be preparing for a little bit of a pullback and then getting in with some strength and confidence, okay? And I think the bulls are going to be looking for that as well. Right now, we broke above the 200 daily EMA, which is great, a great sign of strength for sure. As long as we hold this daily candle above and open a daily candle above and, you know, stay here for a bit, this would be great. Holding support, back testing this 200 daily EMA for support and springing to the upside. Now, did we get bullish divergence here? Downward sloping price action. This right now is showing us a wick, but nonetheless, it is still downward sloping, very loose. You can see from here to about here, the RSI is moving up, but then we got a full reset. So this full reset right now is actually the best reset that you could get. And although it came down to potentially the extension level, maybe the 1.27, let's see if the traditional TA actually got respected here. Pretty much the 1.27. Let's try to be accurate. You can zoom in here and see we hit that 1.27 extension very, very closely, like almost ideally, very confident with the bottom of the top of the volume gap that we identified here. The gaps are good. The gaps usually hold up. And then, of course, Fibonacci and all of that good stuff to look for confluence is nice, right? To get that extra security and confidence that, you know, maybe we're getting some support. So right now, this is not bad. This is not a bad scenario. I would be waiting for a double bottom, at least come back down to lower levels a bit to accumulate. Right now, I feel like THORChain RUNE is going to be looking for a fat breakout. That's my opinion, guys. And if you see right above this horizontal right here, there's a bunch of weakness above. Let me show you what I mean. From here to all the way up, you can see, in fact, it gets worse as we go up, because there's only straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down. There's no price action in the between to really act as support, or resistance in this case, for us to prevent the price to go straight back to previous highs. So this is what I'm saying, guys. We have a bit of a weak spot right here. It is a bit diminishing over time. Like, we have a bit of a horizontal right here that we got to watch out for, a bit of supply and demand spike. So let's see what happens here. Let's keep this in mind to de-risk, of course. We're going to de-risk right around here. I think that would be a responsible thing to do if we see this thing actually recover and get to higher levels. So taking a bit of profit here, looking at this zone for profit taking as well, looking at this zone for profit taking. These are all great zones for profit taking, okay? Especially if you were able to accumulate here at the bottom of the range. Guys, this is right now a decent scenario. A little bit of a W formation right now. This right here, I would have loved to see this be a higher low. A higher low right here would have been amazing, but you can see, look at the price action. Okay, even if you compare here, right? Look at this price action, very oversold, now getting a nice bounce, fully reset, let it come down one more. Let's see what the 4 hour is showing us. Obviously, it's going to be super overbought. Look at this, very overbought. In my opinion, you should be taking profits here right now, guys. Be prepared to take profits if this thing comes down, if the 4 hour comes down and gets a full reset as close as possible to the 30% mark here on the RSI. That's the time to start building again for a long position, for a nice spring bounce to the upside. Guys, pretty good here. Retracement wise, using Fibonacci, let's use this swing low to swing high. Golden pocket is right here at the bottom of this volume gap. At previous lows, you can see lots of support right here. So this is not a bad time. Let me get another box in here to kind of, and I'll make it yellow, not red. I'll go like this and I'll make it yellow, so that we can identify the fact that this right here is a potential buy opportunity. All within here, because we have this golden pocket, 786, 886. This would be a good zone. And of course, again, if you zoom out, we have a clear invalidation. Our invalidation right now for this potential trend to the downside is obviously creating another lower low. If we create a lower low, guys, get out. So basically below this low, put your stop loss, or maybe make this your last buy opportunity and then stop. Then stop. What you want to do is accumulate here on spot and just stop after these 2 green arrows, because then you don't know how low it's going to go. But I have this feeling that THORChain RUNE right now is building a level of confidence for the bulls to start building positions. And this is what we're trying to identify here right now as we speak. Okay, so we got a little bit of a scenario here, a little bit of a downward sloping wedge or type of thing, a channel. And slowly as we W here, we start to break, we start to build confidence, and we get those W's and we get the divergence to the upside. Okay, guys, and then we start looking for TPs. TPs are the name of the game. Now, what are we looking at? I know I'm only looking at the daily right now, but percentage wise, let's say we were able to accumulate right around this golden pocket and take profits here. You're looking at 100% gains right here. Okay, that's 100% profit. And that would be a great opportunity to take half on the double, take your initial investment out, and let the rest ride to the upside. Let's get into the 4 hour here for a second. Again, pullbacks, guys. That's what I'm really looking forward to. If we do get that pullback, is to actually get into a scenario where we can buy in an optimal, price. Because right now, I still feel like it's very, very overbought. Look at the MACD, getting a pale green histogram bars, a few of them, and look at those EMA crosses. So on the 4 hour, be prepared for a dip. On the daily, it's overbought as well. Be prepared for dips. Be prepared for accumulations at lower levels, and right around this yellow box is where I'm looking at. All right, guys, thank you for stopping by. If you haven't yet, do the channel a huge favor and slap that like button. If I've offered you any value in this video and you appreciate what's happening here on the channel, do yourself a favor and subscribe to the channel. Click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.